What's up, guys? Jason Godwin here, and tonight we're going to talk about getting the six figures. Brother, some of you I know that are here, so you might be able to get the multiple. Some of you are still working on that, and so we are going to talk about how to do it and what are the things that I see for successful people to get there versus the ones that a lot of times people struggle. And, a lot of times it's just little things that people don't realize. And so I'm just going to kind of break it down as that. Now, this is going to be for pressure washing and Christmas lights because they're really, there's a lot that are similar that a lot of times I see when I see people struggle or fail. Both of them are usually in one or the other, right? And so that is kind of the case. And so, in both of them, I see a lot of times, again, if one struggles for one probably going to struggle for the other one. And so that is what I want to hit on tonight. I want to kind of hit on that pretty hard because I feel like as in 2025, there is going to be more competition, right? There always is. But there's also a lot of people go out of business. And so my number one factor is I don't want you to go out of business. I want you to have success, and I want you to not go out of business. I understand that growing a business is hard. It's not easy. A lot of people will tell you it's easy, and that's a bunch of crap. It is hard. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. But in the end, you can get and grow your business to where you want it to be at. And so it doesn't matter if you're just starting out and you're trying to get there. It doesn't matter if you've been in business for 5 years. I've seen people be in business 5-6 years and never make six figures. And there's people right down the road doing well more than that. And so it's just a lot of times of the personalities of different people understanding how to grow a business. A lot of people get into the thing, and I will talk about the thing of, you are the best and nobody's better than you, but yet you can't get there. And so some of you are already in the six figures, and some of you can get more by doing the things that I'm going to talk about tonight. So it's not just for the brand new guy. It's going to be for a little bit about everything here for that. So the book I'm going to give you tonight, it's a little bit of a different book, but it's kind of go with the theme tonight of being consistent, prolific, and relentless. That's what really business is all about. It's nothing, there's no special sauce. There's no magic juju out there. It's really about being consistent. And whatever you do is consistency is key at the end of the day. And so this is just a small book. It's called Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media. It's a good book to learn to help you get more leads by using social media. And so this is the book I'm going to put out here. The good thing about this book is it is not audio book, but it's not very thick. And it has big pictures because if you know Jason likes big pictures without a lot of words. And so you can see it has big words with big pictures. And so it's not real difficult for you to read. So it is definitely something that you can read to be able to try to figure out growing your business. And so those are the things that we want to talk about. I don't know if anybody's left any comments. I haven't seen any comments come up here. So normally I'll talk to that. So with that, this weekend was a great weekend. We had some soccer, which my daughter got released on her ACL. I lost a couple more pounds, which is awesome. I've worked out every day this week, which is awesome. And it doesn't matter about what you do. Consistency is key, whether you're working out, you're trying to break a habit, you're trying to start a habit. Consistency is key. Trying to grow a business, consistency is key. And so that is something that I did this week. Also, yesterday, DJ and I went down to Louisville and we picked up a skid unit. So we'll be building a skid unit for the pressure washing side of things. So you'll see a lot more videos on there. My Christmas light people, if you haven't noticed, I've been posting a lot more videos. Again, consistency is key. Come January, you'll see the Christmas lights will probably slow down a little bit, but then I'm going to pick up the pressure washing coming in January. So you'll see a lot more pressure washing stuff coming out on me for 2024. It's just a matter of I have a lot to do, and so I've got an editor to help me out with that. And so what's that book? What is the book? It is called Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media. And so it kind of talks about how to use social media and the way to use social media. So it is definitely a good little book to read. It's got lots of nuggets in it, so that way you can learn and grow as you move forward. So again, yesterday, DJ, we went down, picked up a skid unit. We picked up the gas. Things have gotten a lot more expensive. He dropped about $15,000. But he needed to spend some money for the end of the year, or he would have been paying about $15,000 in taxes. And so that is why we went and bought it now at the end of the year. So if you don't have your taxes done, it is definitely something that you need to start thinking about. So let's start off and talk about, first off, I'd like to hear what are some of your all's wins for 2024. I'd like to hear in the comments, what are some of your wins for 2024? If you're watching the replay, put them down in the comments. I love seeing your wins. I love hearing about your wins. And so I would love to hear some of your wins for 2024. A lot of times I was listening to, who was I listening to? Ed Mylett today, and he had Eric Thomas on there. Great episode. If you don't listen to that podcast, I'd highly recommend it. Ed Mylett. And so Eric Thomas was talking about the gap in the gain. And so he's talking about, actually it wasn't him, it was the girl from yesterday or the other day, was talking about the gap in the gain. And a lot of times we always focus on the gap and not the gain. And so if you listen to Dan Sullivan's books, he always says that he always starts his stuff off with the wins for the week or the month or the year. And so I'd love to hear some of your all's wins in the comments, because a lot of times we forget about our wins because it's like, oh, whatever. And so wins are very important to make sure that we keep moving forward. A lot of times, you know, I've had some guys hit some pretty awesome wins this year. One of the guys in my mentorship, he hit $300,000 month, more than that, just in pressure washing. He hit his $1 million year this year. And so that is one. And so those are awesome things to see. I had another guy hit $100,000 Christmas light month just in a month. And so it is neat to start seeing those wins from those people taking action. And so make sure that you're putting in your wins. It helps you out a lot. Paul Gardner win. Our average is over $3,000 for residential for Christmas nights. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Getting hooked up with this community is a win. Awesome. All right. So here I've come up with about 5 or 6 things of why businesses don't succeed. Not saying they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm probably going to move some of these around. But I will say one of the ones that I will say that are more important, I will tell you the ones that are more important because I feel like it. So how do we get to 6 figures? Well, first off, we need to kind of figure out what is our average ticket. If you started your business, we can kind of go off of this year's data, will help us for next year. If you don't have no data, whether you're doing pressure washing, Christmas lights, doesn't matter. We need to start figuring out how much do we got to do per month, right? Let's break, because $100,000 is a big number. But if we can start breaking this down into smaller numbers, and we can break this down into, $100,000 months, let's just say for pressure washing, that's $10,000 a month. That is 4 weeks. That's $2,500 a week. So $2,500 a week, we divide that down into 5 days. So now we only need $500 a day to be able to hit that. Now, to hit it with Christmas lights, you only got 2 months that you're pretty much going to get it in. Most of it's going to be in 1 month, but mostly going to be in 2 months. So $100,000 in 2 months, let's just say that's $50,000 per month. There's 30 days in a month, so you got to get about a little over $1,000 a day working 30 days a week to be able to get to that $100,000 in Christmas lights. Now that we break it down in smaller chunks, it allows us to make it not so bad. Again, I just talked about wins. We can talk about marking off our wins when we hit those months, those weeks, and that is the way that we can do this. And so one of the things that I say this for is because how many customers do I need to get to that $100,000 month? If you're going for $500,000, how many customers do you need to get to $300,000? So like Paul Gardner put up there, $3,000 average ticket. So if he wants to get to $300,000, he's got to sell 100,000 jobs at $300,000. Now he's at that money, right? And so those are things that we have to look at to be able to grow and scale our business. Again, it doesn't matter if I'm talking about 100,000, but it doesn't matter if I'm trying to get to 1 million. All I do is just add a zero, right? Because 100,000 to 1 million, I just add a zero. That's what I have to do. And so instead of, now we got to get more money to be able to reach it into that time. So the first thing is marketing. How do we get more customers, right? This is one of the things I see the hardest people of why people go out of business is because they don't get marketing. They don't know how to, they will not invest in their business. And you might say, Jason, what do you mean by invest in your business? They will spend very little in marketing. When I start digging into people's businesses, I'll be like, how much are you spending in marketing? Well, Jason, I don't spend much money in marketing. That's just pissing away money. Well, with that attitude and that belief, you're 100% right. And so if you want to grow and scale your business, you have to put it in marketing. Now, if you don't have the money to put it in marketing, then guess what? You have this amazing $1,000, $1,500 tool right here that can make you a lot of money. Now, it won't make you money just looking at the Christmas light groups and the pressure washing groups and posting 100 times in there and complaining about all the stuff in there. That's not going to make you money. How's this going to make you money if you don't have money, if you don't have the time, if you don't have money to go pay for ads, if you don't have the money to go do the things you need to do, then you got time. Right? And what time is you're on this sucker all the time. You're doing social media posts, you're doing lives, you're doing video, you're posting all the time. Go look up Bobby Duncan. Bobby Duncan does 8-10 posts a day. Right? And so, especially in the busy season, 8 to 10 posts a day on Facebook. He's not just posting about his business, he's posting about everything. And that's how he's going to he might have hit $500,000 this year off of Facebook alone. Facebook alone got him in that point. Now, some people will be like, well, Jason, you just don't understand. You don't know what I look like and I can't talk worth a crap. I don't like my own voice, right? I don't like listening to my own voice. Whenever I hear myself on a video, I'll be like, shut up, right? But that is who I am. And so a lot of you all listen to me because you're growing your businesses and making money. And so it is okay that you don't like your voice. But here's the deal. You have to do marketing. And if you don't do marketing, it doesn't do you no good to do all the rest of the stuff because you won't grow your business. I see people in here that have spent $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 in marketing. But guess what? They're hitting $1 million mark. They're hitting $100,000 mark. And that is what it is. And so when I see a lot of people and they say, man, Jason, I didn't hit my $100,000. I'll say, well, how much money you spend in marketing? Well, I spent about $300 or $3,000. Awesome. So you're at $30,000, $40,000. Well, yeah. How'd you guess? Because the marketing magic number is kind of the 10% rule. Now, it's not always that, but it's a pretty good guess that it's usually around 10%. You may have to go up to 20% to be able to grow, and especially to get your name out there. The next thing is with marketing is you got to answer the phone. You know how many people that don't answer the phone? There's a lot of people that don't answer the phone. If you've been in business for at any time of length, and if anybody has called you, I will guarantee you that someone will say, you're the first person that answered the phone. Amazing how that works, right? And it doesn't matter if it's pressure washing or Christmas lights. And a lot of people don't realize how much it is costing you to not answer the phone. So Paul put his numbers up here as $3,000 average ticket, right? So a $3,000 average ticket. Now let's just say, I'm not even going to give him a good close rate. I'm going to say, let's just say for Christmas lights and pressure washing, it's a little bit different because at pressure washing, you're going to be a little bit higher. So let's just say every time Paul don't answer the phone, so let's just say we're going to do easy math. So we're going to say 25% of the people close jobs. So every 3 people he gets to close a job. So every 4th person he closes a job. So if he don't answer the phone, every phone call that he don't answer is what's 4 divided by it's $700. So every phone call he don't answer is $500 to $700. Now think about that. Think about when that phone rings, you should be excited. That's $500. I'm excited to answer that phone. But you know what most people do is they'll be like, oh, I don't want to talk to them. That's I don't know. That spam call? No, I don't. That's a spam call. And they won't answer the phone. Even if you got to answer those stupid spam calls, you will be surprised how many of those are customers and not just spam calls. Now, pressure washing, when the phone rings, is about $200. Every time that phone rings is $200. Think about it that way next time. Don't be like, and I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of you out there that will not answer the phone. I will guarantee you that you miss a lot of phone calls. I've got Daniel here, and you know what? He answers the phone a lot, but you know what? He also don't answer the phone a lot. You know how I know? Because his phone is always dead. It's always dying. So guess what? When that phone is dying, guess what? He's not making money because he's not answering the phone. And if it goes straight to voicemail, well, guess what? You just lost money. And so this is the importance of making sure that we are answering every phone call that comes in. And that is a very important call. So once we get the phones answered, the next thing is how do we sell them, right? How do we sell them? Because we can get all these leads, and if you can't close them and you can't sell them, then guess what? It doesn't do you no good either. So we need to be able to sell also. And so, what are you talking about? I've not missed a call all season. Right. I was with you for a couple days, and your phone was dead as a doornail. And so that is a thing that you have to think about. How do you sell? Now, here is probably one of the most reasons why 90% of businesses fail. This one thing that I'm going to talk about next is the number one reason why businesses fail. This is over marketing. This is over sales. This is over doing crappy work. This one right here is the number one thing that a Christmas light business or a pressure washing business or any business will fail. And I promise you, I've actually had quite a bit of talks up here with Paul, and he has bought several businesses, and this here is the reason why they fail. And the reason why they fail is not knowing how to price your jobs for profit. I heard it in my group. You guys are making more than a doctor. You guys are ripping people off. Well, you want to be ripped? You want to think of it that way, or do you want to go out of business? Because those are your two options. I've seen so many people struggle and they get by and they never make no money. They never get to $100,000. They're putting in all the work and they never get there because they're not pricing for profit. People have in their mind that, well, Jason, you just don't understand. In my area, okay, you believe that in your area you can't get it because you don't make enough money that you wouldn't pay for it. Guess what? You're not your customer. You are not your customer. That is the case. You are not your customer. I promise you, you are not your customer. Man, I haven't seen you in forever. But Mr. Al, but this is the truth, man. I see people come in business. I've had this conversation with Al before. Al was one that he wouldn't charge what he was worth. But you know what? Now he's making more money than he's ever made because he'll tell you, I hope they laugh me all the way off the property, because it is important that you understand that you have to price for profit. A lot of people will not price for profit. They won't charge the $8 to $12 for Christmas lights. Well, Jason, you just can't get that in my area. They won't charge the 30 to 40 cents for house washing and pressure washing and Christmas lights or roof cleaning. They won't charge the 40 to 50 cents for roof cleaning. Jason, you just can't get that in my area. You just don't understand, Jason. I understand completely. I see a lot of businesses out there. I see a lot. I get messages after messages after messages after messages. And you know what? I see the difference between the people that are succeeding and the people that fail. They listen to me. I got two of them right here. Al, he listened to me. Daniel, he's getting $10 to $12 a foot for Christmas lights, right? But that's the goal, right? How do we get there? So we need to be pricing for profit. And here's the thing. If you're afraid to price stuff, or if you don't believe in yourself, then you got to start believing. Here's the thing. It's not about, a lot of people get in their mind that if I get 300 jobs, I'll make $100,000. I know people that sell 1,000 jobs and their average ticket is $400 or $500. And so they work a whole lot for nothing. Because here's the thing, when you do this and you're not making money, you can't get employees that are going to do an amazing job because they're not going to make no money, right? You can't get marketing because you can't afford it. So, when you can afford more marketing, that's because you're making more money. And this is the whole process of what you have to think about. I know this is going to be knowledge because Paul is knowledge. It's a common misconception that making a lot of money is simply about the price of the job. In reality, it's about how much you charge. It's about the profit you actually make. Isn't this the truth, right? It's not about if you made $1,000 per job. It's how much did you have left over? Because I know some people that have been in business for a long time and they make a bunch of videos and stuff and they show that they're making $1 million. And you know what? They spent $957,000 to get to that $1 million. So did they really make it at that point? Nope. And so that's the important part of thinking about pricing for profit, because profit is not what you pay yourself. As I'll see a lot of people be like, Jason, I made $200 an hour. I don't know what you're talking about. Did you really make $200 an hour? Because what if you would have paid an employee, paid workers' comp, paid taxes, pay all the crap that you got to do, pay your insurance, pay your marketing, all that stuff comes out of it. And then at the end of it, you're sitting with $10. And then you wonder why you can't make no money. Now, here I'm going to finally get to the one of quality work and reliability. Show up when you say you're going to show up. Get there early, right? Call them on the way. These are definitely things that will set you apart from a lot of things. You can't over communicate to your customers. I promise you, you cannot over communicate to your customers. Your customers will love it when you over communicate. They will put it in the reviews. They will do everything because you over communicate. You will hear that, man, I've never had a company follow up with me so many times, right? And guess what? That's what sets you apart. It is all the little things that set you apart and grow your business. And so it is important that we do quality work and we show up. And this is something that a lot of people will put this number one at the very top. And I get that. That's fine. But I will promise you, if you don't do these other things, I've seen the best Christmas light installers out there hang it up because they ain't making no money. I've seen several pressure washers. They were the best pressure washer. They made sure they cut in everything. They taped everything. They went the extra mile. They thought they were the best, and the best went right out of business because they didn't know the rest of the process of the business, right? This is quality work and reliability is one thing, but it's only one thing at the end of the day. You know, I see so many people sit there and they'll have the best of the best rigs. They'll have more equipment on this rig than you know what to do with. But they don't know how to run a business at the end of it, and it'll put you out of business. I don't want you to go out of business. I want you to be successful. I want you to have time freedom. I want you to have financial freedom. And these are all things that will help you get past that. And then last is follow up. Follow up and be responsive, right? When you follow up and you let them know that, hey, we're on the way. Hey, here's pictures of the house before we get there. Hey, here's pictures halfway through the job. Hey, here's pictures at the end of the job. Hey, here's a text yet tomorrow. Here's a phone call tomorrow to see if you're happy with it, right? When you follow up like that and you set yourself apart, man, I tell you what, it is the best thing that you will ever do at the end of the day. It will be the best thing you do, because is it easy? No, it's not easy. But is it something that sets you apart from everybody else? Absolutely. Yes, it will. So with that, that's all I've got on my rant for tonight. If you all got questions, I don't care if it's pressure washing, Christmas lights. I see we got both people in here. I kind of made this one for both because I feel like the thing that I see people go out of business, it's the same in both. One, you either don't get enough customers, or two, you don't charge enough, or three, I don't even know after those two, because most of the time we know that statistics tell us that businesses go out of business because they don't charge enough and don't know how to do profit. So that's the reason why I wanted to hit on this. His famous quote, which I use to this day, not my customer. We're looking for bank, not exactly, right? Because a lot of times there's people that aren't your customers. They're just not your customers. So that is definitely something for sure. All right, another amazing year. Excited for year 3 already. I love Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights. It's one of my favorite things. Second year did 105, net at 50% before taxes. Marketing is like money glitch under the right system. Seriously, every $40 you spend on marketing, we make 400. We'll do that all day, ride it to the top. I'll even go, if I only make 200, I'll do 5% as long as it's making money. Because here's the thing, when it's making money, and guess what? They're going to give you reviews, which is going to make you more money. They're going to give you referrals, which gives you more money. You know, a lot of times people don't realize that you have to build this customer list so that way you can make more money out of the end of it. My husband and I are starting a Christmas light business in 2025 with a goal to making $100,000 despite being new to the industry. Here's what I'll say about this. It can happen. I've had several people do it. It is something that's going to take work. I would tell you to get training. I would tell you to come to my training. And I'm not just saying that to say it, because at my trainings, I don't just teach about Christmas lights, right? I teach about the marketing. I teach about all of the things that you need to be able to grow and be a successful Christmas light business. I will say that I see people in here tonight that didn't do my in-person and they still made it. They just listened and they just went and grew. And so I would say that it's not easy. It takes work. It takes some dedication. I would even say go ahead and get a little bit of materials now and put up on your own house so you can start learning how to do it, because it takes time to get better at it. That is probably the hardest thing is to get efficient at it at the end of it. True, we got a big commercial job this year because another company didn't pick up the phone. That's what it's all about. Do you know where I can get customer contact templates? Also, can you give me some advice on storing the lights for next year? Should I build shelves or stack the boxes on top of each other? I would just we just stack them on top of each other. I mean, you can do shelves, so I would always do like 4 or 5 high, and then I would do it again. So that way, when you're taking them down, you're not taking 20 down at one time. So that's one thing I would tell you. Where where to get, what was your first question? Where can I get customer contract template? Um, I don't, I've got one in my membership. It's not, I think, one that I love. It is one that I have. But in the end, we really don't have a lot of contact information. Basically, it's, hey, make sure you got electric. Hey, we're going to charge you 50% up front, and we're going to charge you 50% after the fact. What are you talking about? Real Jason. Just as important, who's following up on leads. Them busy days, getting 10 to 15 calls can be hard to keep track of those leads. Systems are important. And this is true, right? Because following up on these leads are important. And so if you don't have a system that's automatically texting, that's automatically emailing stuff out, you're going to get lost in it. Have I had a guy get to over $100,000 and he had no CRM? He did it all by hand. Yes, it wasn't for Christmas lights. It was for pressure washing. Greg, he didn't. It took him a long time before he ever went and got him a CRM. And he would sit there and put it in his calendar a week out to follow up, and a week out and follow up. So he had all these follow-ups that he was going in manually to put these out and do it. So that's it's not easy, but it's definitely something that he did to make that happen. It really sucks when the phone goes dead. Yes, it does. This is epic. I got 3 businesses from this year off of yard signs. I personally love yard signs because yard signs is one that it will make money no matter what. I mean, I've got people that can do yard signs and they just make money. Keep them simple, big phone number. That's the key to them. Don't get all fancy dancy on them. $10 to $12 a foot. This man speaks truth. 40 cents per for house wash is pretty crazy, but I get the point. So 40 cents is most of the time I tell people about the 28 to 30 cents a square foot. Do I know people getting 40 cents a square foot? I do, but most people, it's about the 28 to 30 cents a square foot is a good area to be in. I don't get how Paul does that. I give a 2,000 and up all day. Most people go for the $4 foot bid. Not saying don't get any just thought. So one, you don't give a $4 a foot bid. That's your first mistake. Second mistake is to get a $3,000 quote or a job average ticket, you need to be quoting every job at $5,000-$6,000 is where you need to be at. Because and then they can take off. But if you're not giving out $4,000 or $5,000 quotes, you're not going to get a $6,000 or $3,000 average ticket. And so what I would tell you to do is add up all of your quotes. How much did you give out? And average that out. And I will about guarantee it. It's usually about half. Whatever you quote stuff at, and what I've seen is usually about half. So the people, and this goes for pressure washing and Christmas lights. You know, pressure washing, I've got Chris Johnson. He was at a $2,000 average ticket, but on average, he was bidding out for pressure washing $3,000 to $4,000 every job. And so to be able to get that higher ticket, you have to bid out the higher stuff. Otherwise, it won't come back to you. I'm going to read this again because this was good. It's a misconception that making a lot of money is simply about the price of the job. In reality, it's about how much you charge. It's about the profit you actually make. Yep, I watched a competitor this year do an install with 5 guys on the job, 3 fancy trucks, and slow as hell. They ain't making money. Elf Pros and Holiday Accents making money. I had a wrong price mindset on pricing, and then my friend Jason got me straight. You know, in reality, this is probably should be on my list, is mindset. If you don't have an abundance mindset, and if you don't have a mindset of of what you can do, it's going to be really, really hard for you. And this is something that this is why I give you people to listen to, like Ed Milet. This is why I listen to him a lot. I mean, I'll show you. I listen to Ed Milet a lot. And here's the thing, right? When you listen to him, so this one here is Ed Milet's here. Um, this is one that I would highly recommend you to listen to. And a lot of it's mindset. Here's another guy I would have you listen to, Mr. Alex Hermosi. He talks a lot about mindset. Again, this was Ed Milet, right? Another one talks about mindset, because mindset is really what keeps you growing. It's one of the things that I think is probably one of the most important things that you can learn about is mindset. Because if you have a poor mindset, if you have a scarce mindset, if you have a half glass empty mindset, it's going to be real hard to be able to get anything at the end of it. Mr. Ron Roby, how are you doing, sir? 20 to 25 cents a square foot is where I'm at house washing. That's good. Raise your prices. The best business masterclass, and it's all free. Shout out to Jason. Love it. His famous quote I use to this day, not my customer. You're looking for the bank? Yep, for sure. I have a guy in my area that was happy about making $100,000 with 2 crews installing Christmas lights. I made $50,000 by myself. So, and that's the thing. You got people out there that a lot of people just want to get through and make money just so that they keep their guys busy. And that's the dumbest mindset out of it all. Because what happens if one of those 4 guys you got out there fall off the roof and die, and now you're going to go upside down for sure. There's a lot of bad advice out there, but listening to Jason changed my life. 6 figures at 20 years old. Will do $250,000 next year, washing 6 months out of the year. It's crazy, Devin. Crazy. Here's the thing, Devin. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward, right? You'll be a multimillionaire by the time you're 30. And so, you know, I've got another multimillionaire that's going to be a multimillionaire by the time he's 30. Tristan, 27 years old, 26 years old. Already bought 14 doors this year. So he has 14 rental properties he bought this year and just absolutely killing it. And that is awesome. And you know what about him? About the guy I'm talking about, the dude that's got 14 doors, going to be a multimillionaire. He comes every Monday night to my Monday night Zoom calls. Every Monday night, he comes to my Monday night Zoom calls. So if you're a member of King of Pressure Wash or ChristmasLights.io, every Monday night he comes and he learns and he asks questions. He is one that asks a ton of questions. Every Monday night, he will come in and ask 5 questions every Monday night. But he is growing. He hit almost $300,000 this year. And so that's what happens. And he's growing, which is awesome. I'm going full time this year. I'm just going to take the leap. Tips for cold calling commercial properties. Our best recurring clients have all come from bold calling, but I'm assuming cold calling, flipping rocks. Just keep doing it. I mean, flipping rocks is awesome. There's a reason why I tell you to go flip rocks, right? Because that's how you get these large clients. Some things that I would do too is some of the networking stuff. Find out where these large clients do networking and see if you can go network there is another thing that you can do. And it's not all about a script so much as just building relationships with people. Building that relationship with people so that way you can ask those questions later on. I have done about 500 to 600 yard signs this year for pressure washing, and amazing outcome. So how many? So Garrett, how many are, or Maurice? How many are you going to do in 2025? What is your goal for 2025? I'd like to hear some of your goals down in the comments. What is your goal for 2025? Or what are you going to do in 25? Not just put it in as a goal, but what are you going to do? Because sometimes we need to speak things into existence. And so I want you to write it in existence down in the comments. What are you going to do in 2025? First year doing lights, did around 30K. I wanted to expand my business next year, but realize I need a lot more manpower. Where do you suggest getting competent people to work? That's a tough one. The biggest thing I would just say is you just got to find the right people that can get up on roofs. See if you can find roofers. See if you can find people that were willing to work, that you can teach and train. I mean, you should be able to do $100,000 no problem with one crew, two people. I know Daniel, him and a roofer did 179,000 last year, and two crews did a lot more than that this year. And so, I mean, $100,000 should be a crew of two, should be no problem. My wife and I are doing gift bags for our customers right now. A couple hundred to go. Some Scottish goodies and Christmas treats. Customers love them last year. Yeah, I've known some people already going out and doing it this year, and they're getting a lot of great feedback, talking to the customers and building those relationships. Lumex. Wow. Mr. George Yost, how are you doing, sir? Met him down at Charlotte or Raleigh. Shoot, that's probably been 4 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago. Luminex outdoor home lighting. Do you send guys out to place yard signs? Yes. So like DJ, he pays $2 a sign. I know other people pay $1 a sign. I know some people pay $3 a sign to go put them up. And so if you do this, make sure that you use an app called Simple Crew. And what they do is when they go put the yard sign out, they take a picture and it'll place a pin right where that picture is. And as soon as they take a picture, it will bring it up on your website. Why do we want to do this? Well, Jason, that costs $20. Well, I had one of my clients this year. Some dude called him and said, are these your yard signs in my farm? Yeah, the guy went straight to the farm and dumped 100 yard signs out. So yeah, $20 might be expensive, but $300 a yard sign sitting there ain't gonna make no money in a farm that's all dumped out of the back of the truck bed. So that's why you use the thing Simple Crew. So then that way you can sit there and they can go and you can watch it to make sure that they're actually putting out the yard signs. Because that's important part is to make sure that they're putting out the yard signs. And then what's really cool is then you can kind of see where all your yard signs are. So then when you start getting calls in, you can be like, you know what, we put a lot of yard signs here, and we're getting a lot of jobs here. Hey, you know what, we put a lot of yard signs over here, but we're not getting no jobs over here. So then you can start looking at it and keeping it going better. Is the price of house washing and driveway cleaning the same? No. The house washing is one price, and the driveway cleaning is a different price. So that's how we do those. I've had a $2,000 ticket through my first 8 months in business listening to your information. That's amazing. Here's another thing. I would love for some of you all to come on to the podcast and on the show. And if you would be willing to come on and give your story. It doesn't matter if you've made millions or if you're just starting out and you got questions, and I will answer all your questions for you. If you would like to do that, just send me a message on Facebook. It's probably the best way to find me is on Facebook. I've got a link that you can sign up for a date and time, but I would love to see people like you come on or anybody like that to show. I love helping other people. And, I've had Greg Townsend on here a lot, because he started out just like you all, right? And now he's growing. So that is an awesome thing. Ed Milet, yes, that is who that is. Um, for me, it depends on how dirty it is. If it is filthy, 25 to 23 average, 23 vinyl brick stucco hardy board, 35. Tristan is in my area. Well, you should go reach out to him and he will talk to you if you haven't already. Um, go talk to him. Thank you, Daniel. I did $14,000 off a 1 yard sign on a road in the middle of nowhere. That's the thing. You never know how much that 1 yard sign is going to bring you in. And that's the fun thing, right? I mean, I've seen people bring in $100,000 off 1 yard sign, right? Because it brought in a big apartment complex and like 10 houses. And so you just never know where that one money bush is really going to be a mega money bush. I'm going to get all my clientele back and stand firm on my prices. $200,000 of reoccurring revenue. That's good. 1,500 yard signs in 2025. So 1,500 yard signs. So you're about $5,000 in yard signs. And then if you pay somebody $1 a piece to put them out, you're another. So at $6,000-7,000, you'll probably make well over $100,000 with that many. Definitely putting out yard signs. I'm going to get a booth at the home show. This is definitely something that you can do. You can meet a lot of people. Try to get their emails. It's not always easy. I've done giveaways. I've done different things. I've usually broken even at them. I've never like made a killing off of them. But it is definitely something that it does work and it helps you. Who is going to Transworld? When is Transworld? I know they were changing it up this year. I don't know. It's usually in February. I'm going somewhere, social media marketing world at the end of it. So I don't know if I'll be able to. I know a lot of times there's a lot of stuff that goes on that same time. Actually, I think they're trying to do a big convention that same weekend. My city takes down faster than we can put them up. Then you put them out on Friday and they get picked up on Monday, and that's part of doing business. That's the way you do it. And if they pick them up on Friday, then you put them out Saturday morning bright and early, because you really want them out Saturday and Sunday. Those are the 2 days that you want those yard signs out. So you put them out early Saturday morning, and that way they'll stay out till Monday, and that's success. If they'll stay out till Monday and they stay out 2 days, that is success. How often are these live videos, Jason? I need to stop missing out on these. So I do them every Wednesday night and every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. There's 2 ways you can. One, if the Christmas light ones are, if you text the word light, LITE, to 855-619-5483, I'll send a text out. If you want the pressure washing one, you send the word King, KING, to 859-696-1101. And that is in the bottom of the Christmas light one. So that's how you can stay up to make sure you don't miss out. I messaged you, Jason. Awesome. What do you think about Govee Christmas light installation? They suck. I've been getting a lot of requests this year to install them. How do you price these installation differently? So I personally wouldn't price them. It's a cheap brand of. Here's the thing that I will tell you about Govee. They've done an amazing job at marketing. I mean, you can't get much better job of marketing than Govee has done. And so they don't look good. When you stick them up with tape, they fall off. I've had guys that went and did it cheap the first year because it was cheap. And now this year they went back and put Invisalights up because they did it cheap the first year. And so the guy paid more. So that's why I wouldn't do the Govee stuff. what is the best to do initial response with a lead? What AI is best to initiate response with the lead? Can you do a live class on AI and how to leverage for initial conversation to weed out tire kickers? Yes, I can. And it would be Claude is who it would be. And I'll do this on a Monday. So this is things like this here, what Daniel's asking is what I do in my Monday night Zoom calls. So whether you join the Christmas site or the pressure washing one, it's all the same. Usually we talk about Christmas lights this time of year. Come January, we'll be talking about everything from Christmas lights to pressure washing. There'll be a lot of marketing stuff. So that's, and I can talk a lot about the AI. Thanks for your advice. I'm excited to join your training. When is a good time to start putting up signs? For Christmas lights, I would probably start about the end of October and November. I would kind of set a goal. You can set out some a little bit earlier than that, but most of the time when you're first starting out, you're probably not going to get a lot of leads. Your audio is messing up. Well, that ain't good. Second year of professional installer. First year did 6 houses. This year we did 36 houses off of 10-yard signs. Next year's 100-yard signs. We're going to hit over $100,000. This will happen. I'm late. You are late to the party. Again, hit the like button. Make sure that you are... Again, like I said, if you want to know when I go live, christmaslights.io, you can text the word, that is what I wanted, phone, you can text the word light, L-I-T-E, to 855-619-5483, or if you want to on the pressure washing side, this was for both. Sometimes I'll do both, but pick one. Christmas light pressure washing is on 859-696-1101. Text the word King, and I'll put you on the list. I send it out before I go. So normally, every Wednesday night is about Christmas lights. Every Sunday is about pressure washing. But the caveat is, if I can get it in about both, then I will put it out to both. So if it's something that I know that, like tonight, talking about what makes a business fail, makes any business fail. And so that's why I will do both. I'm not hearing any person streams. They have some issues. Well, that ain't good. That's the second person said that. Well, other than that, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to jump off here and see what's going on.